The time has come to copy another famous author's writing routine, and I'm so excited because there's a lot of editing I have to do on my thriller book. So if you're new here, my name is Josie, and I'm currently revising my Mountaineering Revenge thriller novel. And so I'm going to be copying a thriller author's writing routine to try and get a lot done tomorrow. I have chosen the thriller author for this challenge specifically because I didn't want any of that wake up at 4 a.m., 6 a.m. nonsense that so many authors seem to do, or at least the ones who talk publicly about their routines. I wanted to wake up at a reasonable hour and also get a decent amount of writing done. So that is why I have chosen to copy Gillian Flynn's writing routine. If you don't know who Gillian Flynn is, she is most famous for her novel Gone Girl, but she's also written Dark Places and Sharp Objects. I've read Sharp Objects and Gone Girl, and I've really loved those books, especially because I find her characters so real, and she's also really been able to master the female anti-hero.
I think women have just as much issues with aggression and anger. I just think they express them differently than men do. And I felt like that was something that just seemed to not be talked about.
So thankfully, Gillian Flynn wakes up at the reasonable hour of 7 a.m., though it hasn't always been the case. In an interview, she has said that she writes from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. because of my kids. But if I had my druthers, I'd go from 9 p.m. to 4 o'clock in the morning. 4 o'clock in the morning. We're obviously not doing that. I don't have kids, but we're still doing the kid routine because I like my sleep. So I'll catch you in the morning, and then we'll get started on doing this writing routine.
We heard a lot of, is she likable enough? Boy, women don't want to read about women who aren't heroes, who don't have a hero's journey, and men don't want to read about women much at all. And I hope that that's changing in general.
I have to admit, this has been a really lovely start to the day. I feel like when I know I'm doing a big writing day, I jump out of bed, eat as quickly as I can, and just get started. But Gillian Flynn really likes to take her time. So she says, I usually get up around 7 a.m., but I'm a big putterer. I putter around for a bit, rearrange stacks of paper, clean the counter. I deliberately don't read or watch anything because I need my mind clear. I feel like I struggle so much in the mornings with ignoring my phone. I feel like my first instinct is always to pull out my phone because I don't want to get out of bed yet. So I read or watch whatever and waste time. And it really does set you up for your day differently than just getting up and really allowing your mind to be empty. Because I feel like I'm constantly finding ways to overstimulate my brain through my phone, through music. Just starting your morning in absolute silence. While it seems a little bit serial killer-esque to just be silently by yourself, it is actually really nice, and I feel like it really makes you focus on your surroundings, on what you're doing. But I can't putter forever, so we have to start writing at some point. But before we do, we have to make a list, because before Gillian Flynn starts writing for the day, she says, I sit down and make a list of what I'm going to write that day and what I need to get done on a personal level, so I'm not having this worry in the back of my head about what I have to do. So we're going to take maybe 10-20 minutes and make a to-do list. Haven't made one in a long time. I used to make them a lot in college because there was all sorts of different assignments and stuff to do, but nowadays I keep it all in the old noggin, so it'll probably be nice to write it all down.
There's never going to be another Gone Girl for me. And I really believe that. I think I'll write other good books. I have faith in that. But I have to come to accept the fact that this is a great, shining, fantastic moment that will never come again. So just enjoy it while it lasts.
We are finally about to start writing, but before we do, there's one more important decision to make. We have to pick what song we want to listen to on repeat. I don't think I'm going to repeat the same song the whole day, but I think at least for maybe an hour. So I'm kind of nervous because I don't really listen to songs on repeat when doing this sort of thing. I'll listen to maybe an hour or 2 hours of a soundtrack or one of those lo-fi things, but we're just gonna pick a song. I want it to be pretty chill, so I think I'm gonna go with a Hosier song to start with, and we'll see how it goes. Oh, okay. Are you ready? Because I feel like I am. Yeah.
Started and stopped books. I would I would write until it got hard, and then I'd be like, gosh, I probably wasn't meant to write this book. I don't know if it was working those muscles as a paid writer every day that finally gave me that discipline to work through the hard parts, or I don't know if it was just finding a story that I loved enough that, I did feel like I had this commitment to these characters.
Gillian Flynn seems to be really generous with her breaks. So she'll sit and write for a long period of time, which we've just done. But then as she loses focus, she'll take a break to get a snack, eat some candy, or just to play a game. So I'm pretty sure she has an arcade game in her house that she plays. And so I'm interpreting that as taking a break to play a game is a way to occupy your hands while your mind can still work on your story. So I've just added another element to this one scene because it was a little bit boring. Adding this one more element would just make it a lot more fleshed out and kind of give it this other angle. So while I stew on that and also just take a break, because I got through 2/3 of a chapter, which I'm really happy with, I'm going to start on a puzzle. This is a dog Christmas puzzle, and it is January, but we're not going to worry about that, and we're going to get started.
I grew up watching a lot of Westerns, and I love that the men in town, there's always dad issues and son issues and this sort of violence passed between the two. And I thought, in a way, this is, to me, was, vaguely a sort of female Western. It's like the cycles of violence between women and that their particular brand of violence, which it's not always, guns or fists or that sort of thing. It's sometimes is more insidious and more frightening to me.
A quick 2 p.m. update. We have gotten so much editing done. I think this might be one of my best writing days since I don't even know when. I'm just having so much fun. So I think I'm going to put that aside and I'm going to go back to my puzzle for a little bit. But I have been listening to the exact same song the entire day. I thought I was going to switch it up every hour. And honestly, at the beginning, I was kind of bored just listening to the same one over and over again. But then I feel like it clicked, I sunk into it. The ambiance is working. I finally get why people listen to one song on repeat. I always thought it was just craziness, but it's actually really nice. So I think I'm going to stick with this same song for the rest of the day.
One of my friends got me a plaque, and it sits on my desk, and it just says, "Keep the crazy downstairs." That it's just always such good advice, because I used to kind of trail me up, and I didn't even realize I was doing it, and I think I didn't want to realize I was doing it because it sounded so authory and a little too precious, method writer or something. But how can it not? If you're doing it right and you're writing that kind of thing all day long, of course it's gonna change your mood a little bit.
Okay, I think that we are done with the writing for today. That was such a good writing day. But even though the writing is done, we are not finished with this routine because Gillian Flynn has said, "I write about dark things like murder and betrayal and toxic marriages and evil, so I try to be vigilant about shaking off the nastiness before I return to the upstairs world," talking about the fact that her office is in the basement. "For this, there is nothing more reliable than the Moses Supposes number from Singing in the Rain." So that's what we're going to do. We're going to listen to this song. I don't even know if I know it. And then once that is done, we're going to take half an hour to do something fun that I want to do. So she says, I take 30 minutes at about 5 p.m. when I stop writing and try to do something that makes me happy. So I'm going to be going on a walk. It might be more than half an hour because the loop around my house I think is 45 minutes. And I'll start by listening to this Moses Supposes number. We'll do more concluding thoughts when I'm back from my walk. This is a wrap on the Gillian Flynn writing routine. I have to say, I really like it. I almost feel like it's a little bit of a gentle approach. I know in a lot of her interviews, she keeps saying the only way to write a book is to get your butt in the chair and do it. And it seems a bit hardcore, tough love kind of thing. But from what I've experienced from this routine, it feels very intuitive and very forgiving. There's time in the morning to kind of get ready, to get your mind awake. You're not just jumping in straight away. And then once you do start writing, it really is just write till you need a break and then have a fun break. and then at the end kind of having that half hour to just do something that makes you happy. Because I think up in part the reason she does it is because she has her kids, she has this family to take care of, and so it gives her a chunk of time every day to do something for herself. But I think that the key to why this worked so well for me is that it's waking up without going on my phone. Like, that's a huge thing. And I really should integrate that more moving forward. But that's the thing, is this is just a lesson that I kind of like keep learning. Like, it's not something new that I didn't know before. But what I also really liked was that the breaks that I did making that puzzle, it kind of keeps you in the zone a little bit more because it's not, again, lapsing back onto your phone. So I think from this, I'm really taking away not going on my phone either when I wake up, but also during the breaks between my writing sessions, and trying to do something physical around me, kind of in the real world. But I feel like if all my dreams come true and I one day become a full-time author, this is a really realistic and long-term routine that I could maintain for a long period of time. Because knowing that you're going to be down at 5 p.m. and having the evening to yourself and kind of treating it more like a work day, and then also like waking up at a reasonable time where you're then not forcing yourself to go to sleep super early the night before. Like, I feel like it's just a process built for success. You're not overcomplicating it, and you're not straining yourself in any way so you won't get burnt out. I'm just so pleased with the amount of work I got today. I fulfilled all of the things on my list. But I'm also really excited to keep writing, so I'll see you in the next video.